decided, I used to spray paint all over the place, I loved it. And then the police would run after me, and that's how I learned to run. So, on a serious note, you know, people often ask what kind of drives you, what's your passion. You know, we all have a great story here today. And for me, if I look back in time, when I was 8 years of age, my dad decided to leave, I don't know, Wine, Women and Song, and he left my mum with 5 kids. And it's a real pivotal moment in my life. I was very close to my dad. He came back, I think, about twice or 3 times in a 2-year period, and then at 10, he disappeared, and I haven't seen him since. And I often think about him quite a lot. And but anyway, he left mum on her own. And you know, my mum, it was an amazing thing. She had 5 children. She never married. She never even had another relationship. And my mum gave up her freedom so as her kids could have theirs. And that's what mums do you know what I mean? And that's why I have so much respect for women, so much respect for mums. She's my hero, she really is. And I'll tell you something, Nike stole that saying from my mother. Because she just did it, do you know what I mean? She went out and she did it. It wasn't any wonder I was going to turn out the way I was, very driven, very passionate. And I remember, we talk about pivotal moments. We had a lovely big house, a nice house. And one day this truck came along, an open truck, and it collected the bits and pieces my mum had in the house, bits of furniture and stuff, and drove it to 47 Casement Grove, Finglas West, a working class area, the best people in the world. And they unceremoniously dumped all her furniture on the grass. It was a corner house. She's still living there today. And I was there, and I'm not being dramatic, but I was holding on to my mum. I remember when that truck was driving away, and I looked up to her face, and I will never forget the look in her eyes. And you know what? I made an instant decision there and then that no matter what it would take, I would make sure that my mum was okay. I didn't know how or what way I was going to do it. But do you know what I mean? That's how driven and how passionate I was. I wanted to get out. I was only a young fella going to primary school. I hated school anyway. I wanted to get out and do something. And help mum, certainly financially and every other way that I could. So that's kind of the story, and that's what shapes us who we are today, isn't it? It's our growing up, it's our parents, it's our siblings, and so on. And so for me, I mean, I suppose it gives you great strength, but it also makes you very vulnerable. Do you know, we all have a vulnerability, all of us here in the audience today, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I worked hard, I got out there and I made things happen, and I've done that all through my life. And you know what? It's never just about money. I mean, if it was, I'd probably be a multi-millionaire now. It's important, of course it is, and it does buy freedom, but it's about things that are important to you. And so life went on, and I've never looked back. Thankfully, I've been blessed with the life I have. I mean, imagine this is work. I mean, with a bunch of amazing people. Isn't this incredible? It's brilliant. And it's not about me up here. It could be anybody, any one of you can stand up here, and I'll sit down there and I'll listen to your story. We all have that story. You don't have to run across deserts, you know what I mean? In fact, I often think there were only 4 deserts, and I choose to do them. Some people have their desert every day with depression, do you know what I mean? Degenerative disease, bereavement, all these things, stress, and yet people get up out of bed and put one foot in front of the other, and that's what inspires me, that's what drives me on. Ordinary, everyday people doing extraordinary things. This was another pivotal moment in my time. My mum said a local was running through the village. Will I go and support him? I said, of course I will. And this guy ran by me, Cyril Cheney was his name. And I went, whoa, the cheering and the banners. And I said, yeah, I'm in. I'm going to do this next year. Instant decision. And so I did. I just signed in for the race, went into the race, ran it. The only problem, one little tiny problem, was that I hadn't trained. Okay? And I tore ligaments in both my knees. And you know, ligaments is a very painful thing. They will repair naturally, and eventually they did. I think about 3.5 months, and I was able to go running again. But it taught me a lesson, because when I finished, my wife was over in the first aid tent looking through the O'Briens to try and find me. They'd see me come in there to finish, but I met my brother first. And Barry said, she's over there trying to find you. And eventually I saw her, and here she was, coming through Stephen's Green, and she came over to me. Not a word of a lie. Look at the state of me, she said. Geez, you can't even walk. I told you this was going to happen. No, blah, 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 blah. She gave it to me. And as she was, she got upset and she hugged me. She was crying, right? And what did I do? I hugged her back. I looked over her shoulder at my brother Barry, and I went... I made another instant decision that if I could repair these guys, these knees, that I would train and I would run one more marathon. Am I too loud? It's really loud. This is my #1 fan. And what's your name? Alice. Hi, Alice. You're the best, aren't you? Yeah? There's Alice. No, it's over to Alice, ladies and gentlemen. Hey! But isn't that great that you can do that? Seriously, we can go up here we can have a great time together. The kids can run around. That's the way our business is, and that's the way it should be. So okay, I finished the race, finished it in pain, decided that I would train for another marathon, and the following year I did, and there you go, I ran it without injury. But I did a few since then. I've run, as you can see, Belfast, Dublin, London, Cork, Boston, Vienna, all over the world, Berlin. But here's the thing, right? And this slide, I should change it actually, in 33 years of running, and I guess this is why people call me in to do a few talks. In over 33 years of running and nearly 600 races around the world, I've never, ever been injured or sick or missed a race due to sickness or injury. And that, my friends, is not good luck or good genes just. It's good health. And it's certainly not fitness. Let's not get confused with fitness. People see people coming out of the gym, oh, they're well ripped, they look fit and healthy. Don't mix the two of them up. Fit people can and do die. And I'll talk about the difference about that. They're two totally different things, okay? So, there we go. This had little to do. I was a little bit fit, but more healthy. And the mindset, that's what it really takes to do all these things. So there we are, everything's good, no injury, and that's really what I talk about a lot. Now everything was going fine until I read this newspaper in April of '97 about a race in the desert. Yeah, bring it on. Blisters the size of plates, I'm liking it. You know, 40 degrees heat, all this, and I needed that extra little push, and then I read about an Italian guy, and he only survived by drinking his own urine. I said, where do I sign? I was in. I did the race, and it was fantastic, I loved it. And I must say, you know, the decision to do that was instant. The minute I saw it in that paper, that newspaper, I just made up my mind, boom, like that, and grasped it with both hands. I jumped in with both feet, and I went for it. And that's what I say about life. You know, if there's something you want, what is it that, when we get older, you know, you have these dreams and things that you want to do. And everybody has it. We have this wonderful energy. I mean, it's all there. Look, it's that, it's there. Everybody has it. But sometimes you just have to reach in and pull it out again. It's there. And don't let anybody tell you that these things are not possible. Of course they are. If it's what you really, truly want, just go after it and go for it. So for me, the decision to do that was instant. And I came back to all this newspaper stuff. I'm a very shy individual, so this was difficult to read. Sahara Shuffle, can Dave do? Look, I love this one, look. Dave of Arabia back home. Yeah, I know. And this is my little boy, who's now 26. My youngest, I've got a 34-year-old, 35-year-old, my daughter's 40. This little boy here gave me a hug with the Arab gear. And actually he's leaving us, he's the last guy I have at home. I know he's still at home at that age, with his girlfriend, and they're going to Canada on the 18th of next month. I'm really going to miss him. Another one of my buddies, all my kids are my buddies, but he's going away for 2 years. Got to spread his wings. But that's him greeting me when I came in. And this is my favourite one. Look at this one. What is it? Superhuman effort in race of death. I mean, anyway, you get all that stuff. You just take it with a grain of salt. 2 years later, I went back out again just to prove the first time wasn't a fluke. I got a bunch of medals. Come here, you wouldn't do it for the medal, would you? Would you look at the state of this thing? A bit of leather on the small, and the medal was tiny, by the way. You could hardly see the damn thing. It probably cost about 20 cents to make it. But anyway, it's not about that. It's obviously about the experience, and it was only the beginning for me. There's something about a desert. I mean, it's hard to explain. You know, when you're out there, it doesn't matter how big your walk-in wardrobe is, how many pairs of shoes you have, what colour your car is. The only thing you crave for in the desert, when that sun is beating down on top of you, and you've got, 2 stone on your back, the only thing you crave for is a spritzer, a spray of water in your face. You go into a checkpoint, you're exhausted, and somebody comes over and they sprays you. Oh my God, the joy of it. I mean, think about it. Can you imagine being able to turn on the tap and get cold water? Yes! Or a bed to sleep in. Oh, the luxury of it. Or a pillow for your head. You see, Dave O'Brien needs a kick in the ass every now and again to remind me how lucky I actually am. How lucky we all are, guys. And that's what the desert does. There's no clutter in there. I love it. You're surviving. You know what I mean? It's painful, yes, at times, but you're surviving. So I absolutely adore the desert. And I miss it, actually, since I've been there, I must say. But it's not the end. There's more to come. So everything was going fine, and my wife and family were delighted that I'd settled down for a little bit, except I hadn't really. Because you see, when I was on the internet, I read about this race, and only 2 men in the world had done it. And it wasn't just one race, or 2 or 3, it was 4. In 38 weeks, Jesus was like a child in a sweet shop. I said, I've got to have a go off this. And it was interesting because I looked at what the challenge was. So you're right, it was the Atacama Desert in Chile, and then 12 weeks later, we went over to the Gobi Desert in China. 12 weeks later, we melted away in the Sahara Desert, and then of course 5 weeks later, we went down in Antarctica. And funny, as I was doing this, I was beginning to understand why only 2 men in the world had done it. I was in Long Beach, California. I was doing a talk to about 7,000 people. And I made this bold announcement, you see? And it was great. Except that my wife was in the audience and I hadn't told her. It wasn't too good. So she came backstage and she said, don't let the door hit you on the way out. No, she didn't really. They were kind of horrified. My boys were thrilled. Even Colin and David, they were going, yeah, go on, Dad, the Irish Superman. Hey, look, you know the macho thing? But my wife, my daughter, my mum were horrified. You see, they weren't worried that I got sick or injured. They were worried if I got sick or injured, I wouldn't stop. And they were right. I wouldn't stop. And by the way, for the men in the audience, that is not macho. That's stupidity. It really is, and selfish. I realise that now, but they did support me. And actually, there was another lady who came backstage as well, as if one wasn't bad enough. And she came back and she introduced herself as Jennifer Steinman from New York. She said, I'm a film producer. She said, let me get this straight. You're going to attempt to do what only 2 men in the world have done. They're half your age. They're the most professional guys in the world. You're only an ordinary Joe Soap. You're going to kill yourself out there. Can I make a film about it? Jesus, I said, thank you very much. Anyway, it has done. It's gone around the world. It's after winning 8 awards worldwide. It's brilliant. You can get it on Netflix, American Netflix. And it's not just about me. They didn't think I'd last out there, by the way. They didn't think I'd do even 1 day out there. They came over to film me for a month, and they couldn't believe I didn't really train. And so they went back with their tail between their legs, and they were freaking. I found this out many months later, and they were picking a couple of other people because they said Dave is going to be gone anyway. And it reversed. It was the reverse. I finished it healthy. But anyway, it's a great film. It's a great story. The cinematography is beautiful, and it's ordinary people doing extraordinary things. You'd love it. So there we go. That was the challenge. We went out to do it. And the decision to do it, guess what? Again, was instant. I grasped it with both hands and I just went for it. And for me, it was a brilliant challenge to go and take on. There it is, March, June, October, and finished in November. Atacama Desert in Chile, 11,500 feet above sea level, very hard to breathe. It's not Everest, but the air is a little bit thin. Some people were sick, a bit nauseous. And also, it's the driest desert in the world, by the way. Carry everything on your back. To save weight, I decided to cut my toothbrush. You know, I cut the handle off. Did you ever try brushing your teeth with just a bristle? Don't try that at home. I nearly swallowed it 3 or 4 times. It's an Irish toothbrush, I guess, okay? Water, we had about 10 to... I used to get about 10 litres a day, and you drink every drop. You really do, because if you don't, I mean, that's a runner who never made it, all right? And, no, obviously. No, that was a wild animal who attacked me, and I killed it with my bare hands, and stripped it clean. I said that to Bear Grylls, yeah? But no, that's what got people, honestly. I know it sounds obvious, but if you got that water rationing just any bit wrong, I saw people, the biggest, best, fittest, the age of my kids, just out of the race, because they got that part of it wrong. So vitally important. Look at the snow pressure. Jesus, they have a camera on your shoulder every second. I lost them about 5 minutes later, thankfully. And then there's the salt flats, lots of salt. It's like hard coral. See this stuff? So you'd have a backpack on and you'd be, moving from one to the other because you do not want to go into it. It's pure salt. And when your feet are cut to bits and it's raw skin, there's nothing worse. The pain is horrible. So you'd be, but the problem is, you see, you'd hit these bloody hard salt. And the top of your shoe, like hours, you're on that for 4 or 5 hours, and your toenails go black after a couple of days. They go black, so you pull them off. I pulled off 5 of my toenails on that race. Half of them were gone. But the thing about the body, which is incredible, is, they grow. Obviously, they grow again, so it's no big deal. And they do tend to get in the way if they're loose, and stuff like that. So just get rid of them. But so that was the salt flats, and I hope none of you have eaten. I know, yeah. So anyway, look, we finished the race. We won't dwell on that. Threw my hat in the air, got a hug. Everything was grand, and then we ended up in the Gobi Desert in China. Now, a lot of people think I'm only Dave O'Brien from Ireland, and nobody knows me. But in China, I'm well known. I promise. The only thing that gives that picture away is the king doesn't normally wear running shoes. I wouldn't think he does anyway. Seriously, guys, it was an incredible. This was in the Turpan Basin. It was 400 feet below sea level. So the heat was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. This is the injuries. This is me. These two. These aren't. Now, what I would do is I did my own running repairs. I'd get a scalpel. What you do is you just cut the skin, throw it away. You put iodine on it. You clean it. You wrap it in bandages. And as your foot starts to swell and the injuries become more, you just loosen your laces in your shoe, and eventually you take the laces out and you just get a bandage. You get a tape. And you put the tape around your shoe, and then you keep going. But it's extremely painful running on bare skin. It's when the sand gets in, that's when the damage really happens, but there's not a lot you can do about it. There's no point in whinging or moaning about it. You just got to drive on. It's all upstairs and carry on, step by step. So that's how we got out of that one. This is some story I would always hoped I would never have to tell, but I knew it was inevitable. I knew something someday was going to happen. And on this day, it was day 4, we went through Fire Valley. Can you see that? It's about 1 metre wide through mountains. And they found Nicholas. He was in a coma. American, 31-year-old. He never made it. He died on the Saturday. That was 3 days later. And you know, when I saw the film being premiered in Edinburgh 2 years later, there's something I saw that none of us had seen then. They got a camel to go up the back of the mountain with a doctor and some people. And they had held him on a camel. His body was lifeless. And somebody was behind holding him. And I'll never forget it. It really obviously upset me. None of us had seen that. And it brought the whole thing back again. And a young 31-year-old, it should never have happened. Lord rest him. So that was that state. And when that happened, it freaked everybody. You know, people, we're only human. Do you know what I mean? We're not superhuman. And the funny thing was, I made up my mind once that had happened and we knew he was going to die, that nobody, and I mean nobody, was going to be left on my watch like that. They were the age of my children, for God's sake. And that's what I did. The race was over for me as a race. I was going to make sure these kids got in okay. To finish this story, I just want to show you this picture. Wherever I speak in the world, I put this up on the big screen because I think it says everything, right? His name is Hugh, from the British Army. When I found Hugh, he was in the middle of the last stage of the sand dunes. I'd been on my feet for 27 hours without sleep at all. I don't look too bad there. And Hugh was running 100-mile runs with a backpack. I wouldn't know what 100-mile was if it bit me in the ass. Honestly, I never trained 100 miles and I never trained with a backpack. And he's here, and I usually put this up and I say, I circle my face and I say, that's health. And then I circle Hugh's head and I say, that's fitness. That, my friends, is the difference between fitness and health. And you know, he was in a really bad way, and he was an amazing young man, and he's a good friend of mine today. And when we finished, he put his other arm around, clung on to me for dear life and cried like a baby. And it was a lovely finish, thankfully, that everything turned out okay. It could have gone the other way. So, and it helped me. You've no idea how much it helped me, because it took all the pain away from me. Do you know what I mean? I was concentrating on Hugh, and I owe him so much. He's such a brave young man, incredible man. I mean, you know, these are the people that really inspire me. Yeah, I got another hug again. Here we are. There's my fan club. Ooh, there they are, they're cheering on. And another medal. 2 down, 1 to go. We'll really quickly go through the Sahara. Just basically to tell you, it was sand, and more sand, obviously, again. And the one thing about it was that killed me. I felt it was tough psychologically. You're running, you're dying to get to your checkpoint, you're waiting for the next checkpoint to come. Checkpoints come between 50, sometimes 12, 15 and 20 kilometres. Now that sounds near, it's not. Not when you're in those conditions. It could be 1,000,000 miles away. So we're all together, all of us, yeah? We've a backpack on, let's do this together. Right, so we're running along. Where's the bloody checkpoint? You're dying on your feet. Ah, there it is, yes! The checkpoint, I put an arrow, see it? Woo! There it is. And 1 hour later, it's exactly in the same place. It'll break your heart, there's no reference, do you know what I mean? And it really, really is a tough one to have to cope with. The toilets, now the reason I put this up here is the screens. When I went in '98 to do the first desert, there was no screens. So what you did is you went out until you were a dot, you dug a hole, you did what you had to do. So when I came back to Ireland, I was digging holes in my back garden for a week. And my wife would be there with the children. They'd look out the window. She'd look at them. They'd look at her. She'd say, kids, your dad, he'll be okay. He never was. It's all crazy stuff. Okay, we have to have a bit of fun. Look, let's move it along quickly. Why do they insist on shoving a camera in front of your face? And then you know what they do. They ask you about your mum, your kids, you know, your wife. They love to do that. They love the drama. This is a particular picture I won't forget. I did happen to say something which I can't repeat here because they're children. But generally speaking, they were okay. But that's what you have to put up with, yeah? This is a great shot. Now, the reason I put this up is you can't probably see that, but my eye's there. I got infected water. I was one of a dozen people that got bad water. We got a batch of water that was bad, and I had diarrhea for 4 days out there, which will take everybody out. Luckily, because my immune system is so strong, I was the only one that survived it. Now, that's another story for another day. It's quite an interesting one. But anyway, as this started to take effect, and that I didn't have that nutrition inside, I couldn't take my juice, plus it just ran through me, okay? After 4 days of nearly nothing in that heat, feeling that way, my body began to shut down. I began to lose my eyesight. My muscles started to seize up. See, your body will take over. Your mind will say, keep going, but your body will shut down. And I know a lot of desert runners that have a lot of issues, particularly with certain organs. They have a lot of issues because of what their bodies have gone through. It doesn't affect them then, there and then, but over the years it can do. But I'm here to tell you today, in my humble opinion, that if you ever reach a time in your life when, do you know what I mean, but mentally, physically, spiritually, you're wasted. You know that kind of way where you can't see any light at the end of the tunnel. Life is tough, and you're going, oh my God, I just can't do this. I'm here to tell you, I promise you, that in life, in my experience, that when you feel like that, never give up. Please never give up, because there's always, always, always one more step, in my opinion. Because 4 hours later, there I am flashing my gnashers and everything's fine. It all works out okay. Alright? There's the finish. That's number 3 done. The only thing I hated about this finish was having to run up and down those things. It was not. You disbelievers, you. Alright, listen, I was that close I could taste it. I'd only one more to do. Yes, I was nearly there, but you never know what's going to happen, right? Something could come around and bite you in the ass, so you never know. Antarctica, can you imagine? I had the opportunity to walk where Scott Edmondson, all these Shackleton, these incredible explorers. So out I went, loved it, left from Argentina, Ushuaia in Argentina. The boat journey was horrendous, by the way. I mean, I've never been in anything like it, and I don't want to be again. I mean, the thing was listing. How it didn't go under, I have no idea. And but you do get used to it, actually. It was so bad, in fact, that I had to steer the ship. The captain was seasick. But it was an amazing place, and the climbs and the weather changed in a heartbeat. I used to take off my gloves, to do something. They warn you, but just very quickly, no more than about 30 seconds. Take off my glove to do something, and the fingertips would go numb, and it would take. I used to time it about 28 minutes for it to come back again. So you had to be really, really careful out there. It was amazing. And people do say to me, "How do you know when you're having a hard time in Antarctica?" You were having a hard time in Antarctica when a penguin would pass you by. Get out of the way, you. Anyway, they're grand. Anyway, that's the backdrop there. We're going to finish with this. We've done the deserts all right. I finished, thank God, everything was okay. So even at that age, almost 60, I got the 1,000 kilometres, 38 weeks, the 4 deserts done and dusted, thankfully. And there you go. Now, here's the deal about that. People told me I couldn't do it. People have been telling me that all my life. People love to knock, don't they? And I know some people mean well by it, but you're never going to be able to do it. It's not going to happen. You're too old. You're going to die out there. It's rubbish. Why you bother? I always say the person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person who's doing it. I love that saying. It's a Chinese proverb, but it's brilliant. So having done that, what next could I do? How would you, beat that, if you like? Well, my brother Barry reckoned I should do this. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Have you? Irish hang gliding? You haven't seen it? Okay, I'll just show you anyway. This is what I'm going to go for next, I reckon, anyway. There you go. At least I should have put some clothes on. So I'm wrapping this section up, okay? And I am conscious of a load of young kids here and stuff, so I'm not going to really be much longer, okay? We will definitely be out of here for about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock tonight. 2 lessons. There's always one more step in life, and it really is. It's a buzz, guys. There's always one more step. And number 2, never ever... Because that frog is not going to go down, no way. And that's the way in life. If you're like that in life, if you're passionate about stuff, and you know what I mean, you're going to have a wonderful life. Don't ever give up, guys. There's always that one more step. And so I got a bunch of medals, but at the end of the day, it's not about that. Sure, it's not. It's about being the best you can be. I often think about this. Like, we're all sitting here today, and sometimes people underestimate the power they have to influence and help somebody else. Never ever underestimate that. A hug, a smile, listen to somebody. We have an amazing ability as humans to look after one another. And never has there been a time in the world where we need to do more of that. It's a rough time out there. So by being the best that you can, I don't want to sell anything short. I don't want to have regrets. I don't want to be like this owl. You know what I mean? He goes, he stays up late every night and wakes up the next morning and realizes it was a bad idea. 10 glasses of wine later and God knows what else. But let's not have any what ifs. I would hate to look back on my life and say, what if? That the what ifs are if only. Don't do that. I mean, if you go out there and you fail, so what? Dust yourself off, get up again and we'll try again. I don't know how many people fail their way to success. So off you go and do that, alright? And that's the regret thing. And look, get out of that comfort zone. Look at that cat. Whoosh, get out of it altogether. This is where the magic happens. It really does. But I think the definition of madness, we do the same thing every day and expect things to change. They'll only change if we change. You've got to be really in a place where eventually you say, look, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Enough is enough. And I'm going to go out there and do something about it. You have to reach that point in your life sometimes, don't you? It happens to all of us, I reckon. So there you go. If you're happy where you are, that's cool and that's good stuff. But look at this. I love this line. If there are no ups and downs in our lives, then we're flatlining, we're dead. So there is going to be ups and downs. I have no idea why some people get bigger crosses to bear in life than others. I honestly don't know that. But they do say there's a reason for everything in life. They do say what doesn't kill us will make us stronger. And I believe that's the case. So let's have a look at this. Be resourceful. I hear people say, if only my boss would give me more money. Or my employer saying, if only my workers would work harder. Or if only I won the lotto. Forget about that. It's not about resources, I promise you. It's about resourcefulness. Come on, guys. Every one of you has within you exactly what you need to achieve what it is you want to need. Don't let anybody tell you anything different to that. You have it all. It's there. You just need to bring it out. I always say that you already have everything you need and more. So be resourceful. And it's a passion. I speak about this a lot of the time. We tend to lose that passion sometimes, don't we? Because life takes over. You know, it gets really busy. It's a tough life out there sometimes. The passion. What lit your fire? And I love this saying by William Barclay. I don't know if you've ever heard it. The two important days in a person's life. The day we were born and the day we discover why. Why do we do what we do? Where will we be in the next 5 years, the next 10 years? We want a life that we can look back on that's been fulfilled. And we all have the ability to do amazing things. So what's your why? And why do people think that you should know straight away? If I was to ask you all, somebody asked me my why. We're complex beings. I don't even know myself sometimes. You know, it's like an onion, you have to peel away the layers. People want you to, I know this is your why, I want to take it and put it on a shelf. It's difficult sometimes. So we have to peel away those layers. And your why changes, doesn't it? It changes all the time. So go to bed in the morning, go to bed with a dream, and wake up with a purpose, yeah? That's the way it should be. And look at this, I love this picture, woo! Now they're having a ball. And I always say, you know, sing. I mean, how many people, you know, I said it yesterday, you know, you'd be in the mirror with a hairbrush or whatever, giving it welly. But it must be a brilliant feeling to be out there to have that impact on a massive crowd of people. Music or dance or anything like that. But these are having an absolute ball. And I say, within every one of us, there's a voice that wants to get out there. So, sing as if your life depended on it. No dip in your toe, grasp it with both feet, jump in and off you go. Grasp it with both hands, jump in with both feet, I should say. Forget about the reasons why it won't work, guys. We hear about this all the time. And just think of the one reason that will make it work. In my case, it was my mum making sure that she was going to be okay. I was focused. I was like that dog. No matter what happened, I was going to make sure that it was done, that I went out to do it. So I think too, in life you need a buddy as well. We can't do all these things on our own. So sometimes you've got to have that buddy by your side. It can be your wife, your husband, your partner, you know, your work colleague, it can be anybody. Somebody, you know, a friend, there's your buddy. And then I look at this, and this was interesting because I was in Visby, an island in the Baltics, about 6 months ago, doing a talk. One side of the audience was the people in the area, about 200 people, and on the left-hand side was a school. It was part of their curriculum to come and hear me speak, God help them. They were 18 years of age and they didn't want to be there. You could see that they were all bit boys, perfect English, right? So I came in and I put up this slide. I was saying there's no leverage in average. I hate average. I don't like average, okay? And I said, here you go, that nobody wants an average seat in a restaurant, do we? And this guy, I swear to God, on my left-hand side, he pipes up, I do. I said, really? I said, how about an average meal? He said, yeah, I don't mind, honestly. I said, how about an average relationship? How would that work? Yeah, I said, okay. Right, so we're going good. 3 out of 3 for him. I said, how about an average pilot? I didn't get a response. Here's my buddy again. How about an average brain surgeon? How about average health? And you know, where it shocks people when I talk about average pilot and average surgeon, when you mention health, it doesn't seem to have the same impact. I don't know why that is. I mean, why do we not worry about our health until we haven't got it? It's so true. I live 1 mile from the CUH, the Cork University Hospital, and it really annoys me. I mean, I want to slap people. I know it's not very politically correct. I can walk into that hospital any time of the night or day, and with proper diet and lifestyle changes, 50% of those people need not be in those beds. Do you know in Ireland, 28 people die a day of heart disease? And here's the sad thing about that. 90+% of those need not at all with proper diet and lifestyle. And I'll give you a better one. The majority of that, it can be reversed with proper diet and lifestyle. I want to shout it from the rooftops. It's insane. So we don't worry about it, generally speaking, until we haven't got it. A lot of you are much younger there, but when you get older, I tell you, your priorities change. And as I said, I want to be around in 30 years' time. You see, doctors will tell you, I speak to a lot of doctors, they say, yeah, we're living longer. Yes, we are, but what about quality of life? Every one of us deserves longevity and quality of life. I do not want to be kept alive on pills and pushed around when there's no need. Again, as I said, I'm not saying that things don't happen with age, but there's so much we can do about it. And this is the thing, I'm talking about prevention, guys, I really am. Prevention is the way to go. And we don't have a healthcare system in Ireland. We have a disease care system. We treat disease. That's what we do. I mean, okay, here's a question. How many people here, and I don't follow the lead, how many people here go to the doctor, and I'm not knocking the medical profession, they do an amazing job for what they have. But how many people here go to the doctor for help? Nobody. We go to the doctor for treatment. Health is what we give ourselves through diet and lifestyle changes. I mean, you can do more for your own body than the best physician on the planet. How many people run to the doctor and say, fix me? Why don't you fix yourself? No, seriously, because most of the time we actually can. I mean, honestly, it gets me going, I have to say. And some people say, hang on a minute, some people say health is expensive, yeah? Health is expensive. So, I don't know what you're talking about here. Maybe 57, is it 57 pounds in sterling, yeah? Health is expensive. I'm not saying these are magic pills or miracle cures, of course they're not. It's raw food running through your veins, right? I'd rather put this into me than a packet of crisps. Now, health is expensive. You think health is expensive? Have a look at this slide. Try sickness. Oh, that's expensive. How much will it cost for a doctor? An antibiotic, missing work for a couple of days. It beggars belief, lads. It really does. And it's never about finding extra money. It's about redirecting spend. If you're in the supermarket and your trolley is full of, I don't know what, take out 10 euros worth of biscuits or, processed stuff and replace it with 10 euros of this. It's only a matter of redirecting spend or something else. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. So moving along swiftly, guys, I'm not going to talk about diet today, but the first 3 words of diet really are what it's all about to me. These yo-yo diets that go up and down, absolutely crazy. This is about the, Rob did say it, where is he? Rob mentioned about electromagnetic waves. Thank you, Rob. Everyone has a mobile phone here. This hotel is Wi-Fi. You've got satellite television in your house, you've got phones you walk around with, landline phones. Again, it's wireless. This is electromagnetic waves. No, it's not going to kill you. But over time, these things and other things all add up, all right? And I think we're getting too much of it. I know it's good for kids, the hand and eye coordination, it keeps them quiet, I get all of that. But please, will you limit it to a certain extent? Like if we're chatting, if you and I are speaking, all right? And we're outside and my mobile goes, this is as true as I'm here, you know what'll happen? It can wait. Because I'm with you, I'm in the zone, do you know what I mean? I mean, what have we become, guys? We can't leave the bloody thing alone for 30 minutes. So we've got to try, I call this, by the way, I call this species here Homo erectus, because it does rectus. I made that word up myself, guys, alright? But I mean, you just got to watch out. I know people are more conscious of their health, there's more people going to the gym, look out your door, you see people running by in yoga classes, that's brilliant. But remember, don't have too much of this. And then we live in a Western world which is undernourished. This is the big one. Undernourished. I didn't say underfed, I said undernourished.